I have just purchased a Crayola Ultra Clean Washable Large Crayons Color Max Our Brightest Truest Colors Yet 16-pack. And now I'm going to make all of you listen to my very biased and solely based upon my worldview rankings of all of these colors based upon their usefulness to me, both now and when I was a child. You chose to watch this. I don't know why you're still here. Here we go! At number 16 is white. Let's take a look at when I used this white crayon to write the word white on a piece of paper. There's nothing here. White is useless. No one uses the white crayon. Why would I ever use a white crayon? This is my handwriting. You see this? I have the artistic ability of a duck on LSD. I'm never using a white crayon. But Suey, what about shading? What if I want to use a different color pen? No. I am never using this. This is of no use to me at any point in my life, ever. And the fact that it exists in every single crayon box is an abomination. You had 16 colors to choose from, and you know very well no child is ever going to use this. Child's gonna eat this. A child is just going to eat this. Like, that's the only thing this is gonna do. It's just gonna be a snack for a 4-year-old. I didn't eat it, to my knowledge. But some child is gonna eat this. At number 15, it pains me to put this here. As someone whose favorite color is orange, when I went into this, I thought that there's no way orange is gonna be 15th. And it's not, because this is not orange, according to Crayola. This is yellow-orange. No, this is orange. Please. Orange. Yellow-orange. Orange. Yellow-orange. Really making editor me do a lot of work here. Orange. Yellow-orange. Orange. Yellow-orange. They're the same color. I don't care that one's slightly lighter than the other. No child is going to look at these colors and be like, oh, well, I should use this because it ever so slightly better reflects the hue of tangerine. No. You know full and well that there is no child that is going to look at these two colors and think they're any different. This is just orange, but again, as an orange lover, I'm glad that it's there, and yet you will call this yellow-orange? No one is looking at this and going, the primary color in that is yellow. They're going to say that's an orange crayon. All right, I cannot stand this primary color propaganda that's being thrown around. Yellow isn't even a good primary color. It's such a weak primary color, in fact, that green replaced it in every single television set, and yet Crayola has the audacity to call this a yellow crayon that is mixed with orange? No, this is just orange. And if you thought white was a waste of space, at least white is a unique color. The only reason this is 15 and not 16 is because white literally doesn't show up, but this one probably shouldn't show up because it's just orange! At number 14, I'm not sure how well this one is going to show up because of my green screen, but we have this beautiful lime green, which in crayon form looks spectacular. I looked at this and I went, man, this reminds me of a fresh lime wedge, beautiful citrus flavor. It's really gonna pop when I write. And then I wrote with it. And what is this? That is terrible. That is awful. That is an abomination. And that is why this is not lime green, but nicknamed vomit green. And of course, Crayola couldn't even name it lime green. They had to bring yellow back into this, because apparently yellow is just unhappy with its life and had to call this yellow green. Once again, this is not yellow. No one is looking at this and saying that it is yellow. This is a green crayon. Probably can't see it right now. I don't know. I'll have to check in editing whether or not it exists or not. But if it doesn't exist, that's because it's green. It's not yellow. It's green. And yet Crayola once again just spouting that yellow is somehow the most important color here? No! Orange is more important than yellow. Green is more important than yellow. Just about every other color is more important than yellow because when you mix yellow with other things, the yellow kind of disappears. That's like its whole shtick. This crayon had so much potential. It really did. It really, really looked like it was going to be something special. And it disappointed me. Disappointed me a lot. Now, if you want to talk disappointing, let's talk about pink here. Look at this crayon. Bright, true, color max. And then I wrote with it. And this is what I got. And I pushed down hard. I tried my best to make this as bright as possible. And Crayola, you told me that these were color max, that they were your brightest, truest colors. And this is what you gave me? I'm disappointed in you, Crayola. Because this crayon had so much potential and is a significantly better color than a lot of the other ones that we've already listed here, which is why it's up here and not down in the 15 range. But then there's the name. Carnation Pink? First of all, why does this have an adjective? None of the others have adjectives. Why does this one need to specify? And also, carnations aren't a set color of pink. It's a flower. They come in all sorts of colors. Wikipedia shows them as being red. This doesn't help. This isn't a useful adjective, and yet you felt the need to add this adjective and no other adjectives to any of the things. And also, no child knows what a carnation is. You could have just put flower pink, and it would have been just as effective, because no child is looking at this and saying, ah yes, carnation. I know exactly what that means. No! You just felt the need to just throw it all around. You're getting too cute with it. This is a 16-pack. You didn't even need original names. You could have just called it Pink. There are no other pinks. There should be other pinks, because that sucks, but there aren't. And so you've disappointed me again. Disappointment. That's just going to be the entire title of this section, from 13 down to 16. I hope we're still on 13. I've lost count, but I think we're on 13 down to 16. It's just going to be called Disappointment. Between this and the lime green, because I'm still calling it lime green, because that is not yellow Crayola, I'm disappointed in you, and I'm disappointed in what you've handed me. Now that we're out of the disappointment zone, we're going to talk about number 12, yellow. Yellow, I've been talking a lot of hate about yellow, but I want you guys to know that my hatred is for yellow, the concept, connected to other colors. Yellow, the color, I'm okay with. Because when you're a kid, what's the first thing you do? You get that blank piece of paper, you're reaching for that yellow, sun. Upper right-hand corner. Some of you upper left-hand maybe. Personally, I was an upper right-hand guy. But it does its job. That's what you do. You draw the sun. Now, there's not much else you can do with it because, it's a pretty light color. Not a ton that you're able to do with it. But you're going to draw that sun. And you're going to be happy about it. Maybe you even show the sun is happy by using black to draw some smiley faces on it. But you're going to draw that sun, and you're going to use yellow for it. And yellow's going to do a good job. I'm sorry I've insulted your concept. At number 11, we have Red Violet, one of the more unique colors in the box, to be certain. One that I definitely didn't use a lot as a kid, but it's not terrible. It's a solid color, and, I don't have strong opinions about it, so it sort of ended up in the middle of the pack. It's got kind of an evil vibe to it that I can't quite explain, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it higher because of that or lower because of that. But the reason it fell from the middle down to 11 is because of the name. Crayola. We gotta do better here. You come up with so many unique names, and a color like this that's so unique, you go with Red Violet? No one really knows what a red violet is, and I guess it's this, but really? You couldn't come up with anything better? You threw Carnation Pink out there, but Red Violet was the best you could come up with for this? I expect better. This is a crayon that has potential, though. I think it could grow on me. Making its way into number 10, we have Blue Violet, which, in a crayon perspective, looks a lot like the regular purple or violet, but that's a separate rant that I'll get into later. But it's a good overall color, similar to the Red Violet. I didn't use it a lot as a kid, but definitely see the potential in it. But again, the naming. This is indigo. This is literally indigo. And if you're gonna include violet as a color, why are we not including indigo? Why do you feel the need to talk about blue so much? Blue is an overrated color, and I'll get into that rant when I talk about blue, but there's potential here, and I just need to see it realized, and I think that starts with calling it indigo. Coming at number 9, we have Violet. Parentheses, purple. I don't know why Crayola felt the need to call this Violet parentheses purple. You could have just called it purple, or you could have just called it violet. You went with violet, and then called the blue violet, and the red violet, red violet. I don't know why you didn't just go with indigo if you were going to go with violet. But I digress. Purple, in my opinion, is a very underrated color. I think that it does not get enough appreciation for the work that it does, and well, I even think I might be underrating it here at number 9. I think that it shows up, it's a good color that I personally think I should use more, and frankly that would be higher if the colors that were above it weren't such strong contenders. You know, they're the 50% of the box that's really getting used a lot, but at number 9, purple is definitely the best of the underused colors, in my opinion. I should start using it more often, I say, as though I'm going to be using crayons. I don't use crayons a lot. I should clarify that. This isn't like because I use crayon often in my day-to-day life. It's just because I felt like it. Number 8 is blue. It's time I talk about blue. Personally, I don't love the color blue. I think it's frankly a very overrated color. I think too many people arbitrarily choose it as their favorite color. But I can't deny that it's useful. Anytime you're going to draw water, you're breaking out the color blue. Except maybe you might break out another one that we'll talk about later. But it is a useful color. It is a consistent color. It does its job, which is why it is here at 8 and not any lower. But I don't like the color blue in general for sports reasons, but it just is an overrated color, in my opinion. I think that too many people have decided that blue is this important color when there are other colors that I think do the job of blue a lot better, and I don't think it's that cool. I mean, yes, it's a primary color, but I already did my primary color rant, but I don't know. I'm not a big blue guy. Never have been. At number 7, we have red-orange, and this one surprised me with how low I ended up ranking it, because this was my go-to color as a kid. Anytime I was drawing a picture of someone in a shirt and I got to pick what color that shirt was, they were wearing red-orange. But unfortunately, the older I've gotten, the more I've shifted toward red rather than red-orange, and it reminds me of my youth, which is great, but it also comes across to me as a bit more of a childish color because of that, as I've shifted more toward red. Again, I don't use crayons in my day-to-day life, but really great color, just, reminds me of simpler times when I was but a wee lad. Coming in at number 6, we have red. Just a good color. Was my favorite color as a kid. Was just red. I like it. It's a good color. It does its job. It's a primary color, so it drops it down a couple pegs, because I think primary colors are a bit overrated, but it's a good color. It's a solid color. It does its job. It shows up well on white paper, and it's just good. Not much else to say. Nothing that really jumps off the page, but it's a solid color. Starting off the top 5, we've got blue-green, and you look at this color, and you're like, looks just like blue, but with a lighter colored wrapper on it, and then you write with it, and oh my goodness, am I in a tropical ocean with a coral reef teeming with life around me? Like, look at that color. It is beautiful. That is just, wow. Just what a color. Genuinely, just a spectacular looking color, and it would have been higher, but once again, Crayola came in with the name. They came in with the primary propaganda name, throwing blue-green instead of just turquoise. Oh, if this were called turquoise, easily would be in the top 3. A beautiful, eloquent word with a Q in it. You'll hear more about Q in my letter rankings, but if this were just called turquoise, it'd be so much higher. But blue-green, what a color. Spectacular color. Coming in at number 4, we have orange. My favorite color. Not the best color, but my favorite color. And I warned you at the beginning that this was going to be biased. It's a great color. I love it. Mostly for sports reasons, but I love the color. I mean, it's the reason I switched from red to orange. It just pops. It just shines. It's a great, great color. I love the color orange. I just think it is a wonderful color. Really shows up. Yellow-orange also being in the box drags it down a little bit, and is it biased of me to put it this high when it probably should be closer to 7 or 8? Yes, but I love the color orange. At number 3, we have brown. What a color brown is. One of the best support colors in all of colors. when you're drawing an outdoor scene, you're drawing those trees, yes, green is important, but brown is going to help ground those trees in a literal and figurative sense. With the trunk, I used brown in probably every one of my drawings because I loved drawing trees. They were great. Brown is just a solid, all-around color. The only reason it's not higher is just because I didn't use it for that many other things besides trees, but really showed up, really did its job, and was probably in every one of my drawings as a kid. Great color. Brown is amazing. At number 2, we have black. What a color black is. Outlines, emphasis. Whenever you want to make something pop on a page, black is there to help you out. And I think that it's really just a crayon that gets used all the time, and that's why it comes in at number 2, just below number 1. It was my number 1 for a while, but then the actual number 1 passed it by just a little bit. Great, great color. Black is, really does everything that you need it to do, just adds that punch and that depth, and I'm sure people with significantly more artistic ability than me also use it a lot. But again, I am not good at drawing, which is why you should not be trusting these opinions. But number 2, black. And coming in at number 1, the best of the ultra clean washable large crayons Color Max brightest truest colors yet, it's green, which is very unfortunate because of my green screen, but it is spectacular. I was talking about those trees. Oof, those trees. I love just making essentially clouds of green. The grass, it was used just all the time. Probably my most used color as a kid. It looks gorgeous on a piece of paper, just absolutely stands out, does exactly what you need it to do, doesn't hog the spotlight, simple yet elegant. Green. Green is it. Green is the best of the bunch. Good work on this one, Crayola, and you even named it well. That does it for this rankings. We ranked all 16 of those crayons that I'm not going to bother to name the name of again. That was too hard to do one time. As a disclaimer and a reminder, the opinions and rankings expressed in this video only reflect my personal opinions and are not affiliated with any persons, employers, or organizations of which I am a part of. They're just me. I'm just a guy talking. But if you enjoyed this video, you probably have too much time on your hands. Might I recommend getting a hobby? But I'm glad you watched it anyway, and I'll see you next time. Peace!